Hi, my name is Mark Davidson. I'm a paranormal investigator for Low Light Continuum Paranormal Research and also for Chicago Ghost Hunters Group, a co founder. Well, my story is about having gone to the old Ashmore Estates, and I say old, that was before it was renovated by four gentlemen who had purchased the property from the original owner, who we knew when we made our visit there. His name was Scott. So we go out there, 11 of us, through Chicago Ghost Hunters Group. It was mid January, probably 38 degrees outside or so. It's maybe 40 something inside this building. So it was cold in there anyway. And we set up our gear and we go through the building, taking turns in groups while one person or two people watch the monitors. We had some static cameras going through a DVR. That's also where a heater was located, so each person could take a moment to warm up as the temperature was, again, 40 degrees outside. Well, anyway, my group, a group that I was with, had made it to the second floor, which is actually the third floor there. They refer to it the upper floor. And halfway through the upper floor is a stairwell to an attic. It's a ladder of sort. Just past this ladder is a double door that led to a rear portion of this building. Now, the building is divided with some internal hallways, structures that had been built there. So I'm walking, I get the thought, encouragement, something told me, go further, go check it out. The three guys I was with stopped at the bottom of the ladder that went to the attic, and I went through those double doors myself. I walked in there by 20 feet or so, and all of a sudden I felt an overwhelming coldness. Now, it was already cold in there, mind you, but you couldn't really see her breath. But I got an overwhelming coldness, and I saw my breath. And then I thought I saw something on my infrared camera. It was pitch black in there. So I moved my camera to see what it might be looking at. And what I saw was a humanoid shape. And what it looked like was clear and blurry, as if you were looking over a very hot roadway on a summer day, and it looks like there's a puddle of water a half a mile up ahead, but it's blurry. Well, that's the kind of blurriness this looked like, except it was humanoid. It was 4 inches in front of my face, and it came at me and passed right through me. I dropped to the floor, jumped back up, and I screamed, and I turned around and I ran. It's the only time I've ever run on an investigation. Well, I ran back through those double doors, back to the guys that I was with, who are then trying to figure out what had happened to me. And eventually I shook off the panic or whatever, but I was spooked about going back there to check out that area again. So I did go back later, same spot. Didn't see anything this time, but I was with a group of people, so I felt comfortable. But there's a door to the left, and there's uneven concrete floor holding that door open. It doesn't open all the way, it doesn't close all the way, it's stuck. I walked in there, and I decided to take a look around. So again, I'm separated from my group. So I walk around this room, and it's like a maze in there. And I walk around, and now all of a sudden I realize, I'm getting uncomfortable. I want to get out of here. So I start to look for the door. There's no door handles on the inside. The door that was jammed, that couldn't be moved even by pulling on it, that would make a tremendous noise, is now completely closed with no door handle on the inside. It's pitch black, just me and my night vision camera. Well, I almost panicked. Somebody came by. I made some noise. They pushed. I saw where the door moved. I got out and got over that. But immediately after having come in contact with that entity that passed through me, I was already starting to feel weakened and generally off. It ultimately led to going home. The day we got home, my son was there also. There's a religious candelabra used for Jewish Friday night Sabbath. It holds 3 candles. Now that, while we don't use it, it was my grandmother's. It sits on a shelf behind other glass objects that are also candelabras of a sort. This thing levitated off the shelf and flew over the glass objects and landed at my wife's foot. This was 4 hours after we returned from Ashmore Estates. And then for about 4 to 6 weeks afterwards, myself and my son were nightly seeing shadow figures, apparitions, hearing voices, disembodied voices, and other kind of anomalies that are not normal or present in our house all the time. It's something that has started when we got back. So we brought something home with us to the point where my wife said, "What the F did you bring home with you?" She was mad after that thing almost landed on her feet. And shortly thereafter, she was standing there, and it was the day before Mother's Day. It was my birthday, and all of a sudden, at 6 a.m., while we're making coffee, just her and I, nobody else is around, all of a sudden, Mark, which is my name, Mark. And I look at her eyes as big as saucers. I said, "Did you hear something?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "What did you hear?" "Somebody said your name, Mark." So after that, it calmed down here a little bit, or what have you. But my medical started to take a toll. I've had scans. I've had a bad back, so that's not an issue. But I've had scans for something they'd seen on my chest. They said just watch it. So I did multiple scans, and they were always clean. Shows everything going on in there. After this visit at Ashmore Estates, and after running into that entity that nearly took me out on the second floor, all of a sudden I developed various kinds of nodules in various places around my body. Like they found a mass in my liver all of a sudden, wasn't there the year before, showed up in the liver. I had to have my right breast removed, a mastectomy. A common practice amongst women with breast cancer, not so common in men. Well, yes, I had to have my right breast removed because of a mass that developed there. And now they found there's more masses developed in other places. And they've had scans previous to me going to Ashmore and these new ones since, and that's what showed up since. So I'm telling you, it can affect your health. It will definitely affect your judgment, and it can affect your emotions. And you can feel a little bit of all of that all at one time. But I'm telling you that if you're feeling that way, you may want to go talk to somebody who knows and see if they can cleanse you in some way or another. I've been suffering with this for over almost 6 years now. The first two were the worst. I thought I was going to die. But I got stronger, I got mentally stronger, and I fought this, and I fought my way back, and I'm back now, and I'm ready to go back there with some people that I know that are prepared for the type of entity that I ran into. I feel I have some unfinished business, but I warn anybody else who would ever want to go ghost hunting or spirit hunting to really think twice about what you're doing and understand that it is not a joke. It's for real, and these things happen. And there's a lot more things out there scarier than ghosts. If you should happen to walk into one of those, you will not be the same. Let's just say that. So anyway, end of my story. I'm going to send this over to you guys, and all I could say is, safe hauntings, and pay attention to your surroundings. For sure, man. Cheers. Love, peace, and out.